Okay, it's 10 a.m. Central European Time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the MOP32 from all the world. We are here to show you the real alternatives, the next generation of training and certification. I have with me many speakers that want to express, to show their experience in training with alternative refrigerants, which are the future of refrigeration. I have with me Mr. Studi of IIR. I have myself, Marco Buoni of AREA, Silvia Romano of Real Alternatives for Life, coordinator, Mr. Marino Bassi, expert trainer, Miriam Rodway of IOR, Karsten Biermann of IKKE, Christian Gregos Prozon, Stepan Stoyanov from Czech Republic, the Association of Czech Republic, Blanca Gomez from CNI Spain, and that's it. We're already enough, I think. So I thanks all the speakers from being here. I thanks all the audience for being with us. We are at the moment 50 attendees. More are coming, I'm sure. But we start with the importance of training and certification. Every speaker will speak in a bit when his turn. So thank you very much and see you in a bit, speakers. See you later. You can put your webcam off. So, Didier Coulomb, can you hear me well? Can you see me well? Can you put your mark? Okay.
Fine, it's okay. Yes, so dear all, I would like to introduce this seminar with a few considerations regarding the importance of training and certification. There are two main challenges for the next decade for the refrigeration sector. And when I mean refrigeration, I include, of course, air conditioning, cryogenics for liquefaction of gases, for instance. There are a lot of uses, such as, for instance, hydrogen in the future, cryotherapy, the use of vaccines, and all the discussions we currently have regarding COVID-19 are linked with the cold chain. And we especially have two important challenges regarding the importance of refrigeration, which are the use of the cold chain for food and also health products. And in any case, we will have an increasing use of this cold chain. Currently, the capacities in developing countries are almost 10 times less than in developed countries. So in any case, it will increase. And regarding air conditioning, according to the latest expectations, we could triple the use of air conditioning within the next decades until 2050. So we will have, in any case, increased use of refrigeration technologies, refrigeration equipment all over the world, especially in developing countries. And there are two important consequences regarding energy consumption and regarding refrigerants. We have to face these challenges, and thus I will explain you the importance of training and certification because of that. Energy consumption of refrigeration equipment, including air conditioning, must be reduced. We have several solutions: renewable energy, heat pumps, solar energy, for instance. We have also the possibility to increase the energy efficiency. And in any case, even if we have renewable energy, we will have had a lack of energy infrastructures if we have so an increasing use of energy because of refrigeration equipment. Currently, refrigeration equipment represent 20% of the worldwide electricity consumption. It's enormous. And because of the Paris Agreement, because, as you know, all the countries progressively will try to be carbon neutral in 2050 or 2060. So energy is a main challenge for our sector. It has an indirect global warming impact. Currently, the global warming impact of refrigeration equipment are about two-thirds due to the energy consumption, 1/3 because of refrigerants. And the second challenge is the refrigerants. Most refrigeration equipment, including air conditioning, use refrigerants. As you know, CFCs and HCFCs destroy the stratospheric ozone layer, and most refrigerants, CFCs, HCFCs, are potent greenhouse gases. As you know, HCFCs will be phased out until 2030, within 10 years. And at the same time, we will have to phase down HFCs because of the Kigali Amendment of the Montreal Protocol. Of course, in developing countries, it is still not an obligation. We will start it in 2024 or 2028, but we already have to prepare it. We cannot wait until the phase out of HCFCs to move to low global warming refrigerants, and consequences will be very important for the entire planet. Because of the Paris Agreement, because of the Kigali Amendment, we have to face these challenges. Next slide, please. So we cannot wait a phase out on HCFCs, and there are two issues for moving to low global warming potential refrigerants. Two issues: safety and energy efficiency. So we now we need people who are able to install safe equipment and energy efficient equipment. And because of that, training is necessary, absolutely necessary, because the use of these low global warming potential refrigerants are not exactly the same as the current refrigerants. Real Alternatives for Life is a remarkable tool for it. The International Institute of Refrigeration and its partners, and you will have afterwards the presentation by our partners in this European program, are at your disposal to help you. Of course, it is a European program, but as you know, Europe is in advance to other countries. So in any case, the experience we have in Europe, the experience we have developed, the training we have developed in Europe can be applied all over the world, and I'm sure that it will be useful for all the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Didier Coulombe from the Institute of International Institute of Refrigeration. Thank you very much, Didier. So now it's back to me, Marco Buoni, President of AREA. I would like to show you few things about what is happening in Europe. As Didier said, in Europe we are moving fast. We have an European F-gas certification, and now we are going to change the F-gas regulation to a new one, and I would like to show you few things about it. And we are going to improve training, also adding alternative refrigerants. So we want to do that. Let's see what is going to happen with the review of the gas regulation. So about AREA, we are an association of Europe, 25 European associations from 21 countries. We have a working group about human capital, training, about increasing competencies, and 3 projects about it: Real Alternatives, the refrigerant driving license, and universal training kit for alternative refrigerant. We work also on standards, in particular the EN 13313, which is a European standard that is becoming an international standard called ISO 22712. So our aim is to have skills and to have certification and education. We have guides about it. We have translated in 16 languages guides about COVID, about VM 378, about training, and about certification. You find all of them in our website. But what we want to show you today is the revision of the gas regulation and why it's important training, look into this revision. We are starting now a revision, a consultation. First was a roadmap at an impact assessment. Now we are in a consultation project process, and all the stakeholders are giving inputs to this to the gas regulation, what should be improved and changed. And all 2021 will be for that, for stakeholders workshop, presentation, preliminary findings, impact assessment concluded, and in December, probably we are going to see a proposal for a revision. And in 2022, 2023, after the ordinary legislation procedure, the European Parliament and the Council will adopt a new F-gas regulation. And what is the aim of this F-gas regulation? We want, first of all, to align with the Montreal Protocol, of course. We are already, of course, phasing down, phasing HFCs, but we want to align completely what is the Kigali. And further reduction in sector not covered. Also the implementation and enforcement issues, illegal trade, training with alternatives, and other issues we want to tackle. So in particular, area comments are, we want training, certification, competence. We want mandatory certification for alternative refrigerants. In particular, now we have 2 countries in Europe, which is Spain and Netherlands, in which is already mandatory certification for alternative refrigerants. And when I say alternative refrigerants, I mean CO2, ammonia, propane, isobutane, flammable refrigerants, synthetic HFOs. All these are alternative low-GWP refrigerants. Then other issues are the Brexit and mutual recognition of certification and competence. Also harmonization in member countries. Also, we want to tackle illegal trade, which is an important topic for Europe, also not only for Europe, but worldwide. And also, we are looking to enlarge the scope, which want to include not only training for alternative refrigerant, but also all the prescription we want to have for alternative refrigerant as well. Also, the phasing down scheme should include TIWI and want to include maritime sector, and we want to include energy efficiency and economics as well. Few findings. Why is important training? Because certification is working in Europe. Already 500,000 technicians are using certification for buying refrigerants, and the effect was less leaks, more control on systems, periodical inspections on systems, skilled personnel and companies. The companies are better equipped. We have calibration of equipment, of devising, measuring devising. Recovery, reuse, and reclaim refrigerant is better managed. Now we are using lower quantities of high GWP refrigerant, as you can see in the right draft, the right graph. The right graph show the million tons of CO2 are decreasing the quantities. In the left graph, you see only tons of refrigerant. Then you can see as well that it's decreasing less, which means that the total refrigerant should be the same, of course, the total refrigerant, because the market is not decreasing, the market of refrigeration and air conditioning. Instead, is increasing in Europe, the market of refrigeration and air conditioning. So the tons of refrigerants should be stable or even increasing. Instead, we see less tons of HFCs around, which means that there are more alternative refrigerants used in our markets. And on top of these findings, we see that we need certification. We need more training for the use of alternative refrigerant, which is flammable, toxic, and high threshold. And so we need real alternatives. We need our project, the Alternatives for Life, which Silvia, my colleague, coordinator, is going to show you in a second. Thank you, Silvia, and the ball is yours. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction and for the clear explanation of the situation in Europe right now. It's my pleasure to talk with you today. So once again, a warm welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are right now. If you allow me, I will share my screen.
Please, Silvia.
Sure. Can you stop? Thank you.
Okay,
so,
we can see it.
You can see it. Now I make it full screen.
Yes.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay. So today, as we were saying before, I will make a short presentation showing the project. This is for you participants to know more about it and decide whether this is interesting for your country or not. Of course, we hope that you will join us and the group will grow even bigger. So as we were saying before, the project Real Alternatives for Life is the officially EU-funded blended learning program for low global warming potential refrigerants. So let's go into deep of the project. Let's make a short jump back in history, back to 2017, when the second phase of this project started. It started with these objectives: increasing knowledge amongst technicians, filling the gaps that were present in this sort of topic of the field, especially focusing on safety, reliability, efficiency of this sort of field, and always supporting the implementation of the F-gas regulation, because this is the only way that we can go towards low global warming potential refrigerants. When this started, this was the outline, so let's see it deeply. This project, as we said before, is funded by the LIFE program, which is the EU instrument for environmental and climate action. This project focuses on flammable refrigerants, as we said before, which includes hydrocarbons, HFOs, A2Ls, it's very broad, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. It started 6 years ago with the first phase of the project with 8 funding partners, and we have a big representation of these partners here today, so I'm very happy about that. And little by little in the years, 12 stakeholders joined the project. For now, a total of 20 countries and 17 languages available. So you can see that the coverage of this program is very broad. What does it include? It includes learning material. The learning material is free. This is the most important thing. It was developed by top quality teachers from across Europe, which put together the industry and the training facilities. It provides 9 modules, and you can see that it is constantly updated because there were 8 modules and 1 more was added. So what is important also about this program is the licenses and certification, probably the characteristic that is mostly interesting, because it is the only one that provides a certification at the end of the training, and also a certification that is standardized throughout all the countries that join the program. It also features events, which is very important. Right now we cannot meet, but it is very important in the future, as soon as we can do it, to gather and study in one classroom, because the interaction between the trainer and the students is essential. So how did we reach the people? We reach also through e-learning, which in this moment, as you can see, is essential as well. So 5,000 technicians were already reached through the e-learning so far, and over 600 were certified in class. As I was saying before, there are 17 languages available, which are the ones that you can see listed, and I hope maybe you recognize yours, and 20 countries that joined. So maybe you recognize New Zealand is not exactly sitting there, it is just to fit it in the map, to give you an idea of how broadly the project reached, and it was stretched through the countries. So let's talk about who is inside the project. As we were saying before, it started with 8 funding partners among Europe. You can see also a broad representation here today, because we have ATF with us, the IOR with us, the IIR from Paris, ICE and Prozon also with us, and AREA, of course, represented by Mr. Buoni. These were the starting partners, and little by little, these new stakeholders joined. So we have Croatia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Portugal, Spain, Romania, and Turkey. These were the first stakeholders who joined. And then we also welcomed Armenia, Cyprus, Greece, Netherlands, Estonia, and New Zealand. So this is a big, big group. But what are these associations doing inside the project? As you can see here, there are 3 logos that are representing the roles, the main roles that are of the project. So it's a bit like a cascade system. And I will also make an example to make it more clear. There is always a representative of the country inside the project. So let's make an example for Italy. It is the closest to me. It is the easiest for me to make. The ATF, the Association of Italian Refrigeration Technicians. That is the interface in between the project and the training providers in the country. So it coordinates the project for the training providers. The essential part of the project is providing training. So here comes the role of the official training provider. It is a training institute, for example. It can be also the same association that is the national lead. And this role makes it possible to interface with the technicians directly to provide training and certification. And then, of course, there is the role of the technician who undergoes the training and takes the certification and is therefore certified. And I'm very proud to say that since June 2019, already 600 technicians were certified. It is a big, big number. So how do you become a national lead? For example, it is very easy to get in touch with us through the website, or also you're very lucky because today you have the official ambassador of the project, Mr. Buoni. Here is his email address, so you can simply get in touch with us. You should be an association or an institute So sign an agreement. So of course, make it official in between the consortium and your association. After that, it is very smooth. You just need to translate the material, of course, in your national language for the technicians in your country to understand the material, unless it is already available. The material includes booklets, the e-learning, and the website content. And then after that, you need to promote the program so that official training providers come and join it to provide the training for the technicians. So as we were saying before, you should be the interface. It is an essential role, of course, in between the partners, the project, and the technicians. And then the other role would be the training provider. If there is already a national lead in your country available, the ones that we were saying before, then it's very easy for you. You just simply contact this national lead, and then you make an agreement and you become licensed so that you can deliver the official trainings, you offer the assessment, and therefore you are licensed to provide the certification. This is essential because, of course, you need to be officially inside the project to provide the certification. The material is free, but the certification must be officially provided by the project. So let's make an example of the feedbacks from the delegates that joined. They were very, very happy feedbacks because they said that the knowledge was increased of how the program works. And also the practical training was essential to get an idea of how to provide it themselves. And also that they were very happy to provide this training from now on in their own countries. This, you can see, is a photo. It includes a few of the stakeholder partners inside our lab. It was already 2 years ago in 2018. And you can see also the expert trainer, Mr. Marino Bassi, who will give a presentation after me very soon. And this gives an idea of the in-class training. There are different types of in-class training for the new stakeholders to join. First of all, there is a short meeting where the project partners, the funding partners, explain the project, how it is delivered, and how it works. After this, the participants in this training go back to their own countries and train themselves. So it is a sort of a cascade system. So after this, they will be licensed and available to deliver this training to their own in-country technicians. And there it is, there it starts, very smooth. Another important feature of the project is the website. And it is very important, I will show you later on, because here you can download the material, which is free. You can see on the left a list of all the languages that are available. You can see on the top a menu showing the training providers, or how you get in touch with us, our social media, and so on and so forth. Talking about the e-learning, let's make a short excursion on this. It is the button on top left. Simply register to access the e-learning, which looks like this. It includes all the 9 modules. As we said before, it is available in all the languages. And the first modules have a short self-test at the end. So you are even more sure of your knowledge if you understood everything, if you want to go back, and if you want to take again the test, and then you go on and forth until the end of the training. And this you can do anytime when you want from your desktop. As well, these are the modules that you can download any moment from your desktop and study on your own. But of course, we suggest as soon as possible to make the in-class training, because the relationship in between the trainer and the students always makes a difference. Talking about the modules, these are the topics that featured. So there is an introduction, of course, to alternative refrigerants. There is an important topic of safety and risk management, then system design using these sort of refrigerants, leak detection, maintenance and repair, retrofitting, then legal obligations, of course, then the financial and environmental impact, which is also an aspect, really soft aspect, and then the site surveys, which is the new addition. I will not lose much time on this, because after myself, there will be the actual trainer given an example of these flammable scores. But once again, you will receive these slides afterwards, so you can have a look yourself of the program, how it looks like. As you can see, it's very broad. For example, this about the flammables, you get once again the background information, excursion on the flammable refrigerants, working safely, the cylinders, how they look like, the leak potential, and so on and so forth. As we were saying before, a fundamental aspect of this project is the assessment. These are the tasks listed on the left to make the practical assessment. And once the theory and practical assessment are passed, you get the certification. And this is the most important part that I cannot stress enough, because this shows the minimum level of competency and knowledge that a technician has, and it is standardized throughout all the countries that join the program. So once again, carbon dioxide example. Again, I'm not losing much time on this because you can see it yourself, and the program is very broad. It includes all the topics that should be considered when talking about CO2, which is a very, very important refrigerant as well. And once again, theory and practical assessment. Passed, certification, as easy as that. The available certifications right now are for flammable refrigerants and carbon dioxide. There will be also something about the e-learning, but we don't have the time to go into deep about that. For any question, please use the box on your right in GoToWebinar, type your question and we will read it at the end, or simply get in touch with us, as easy as that. Once again, I'll remind you about our website and also about our social medias, because right now it's the only way we can be connected. And I would like to thank you very much for your kind attention. This is my email address. And for anything, please do get in touch with us. We will be very pleased to have a talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Very clear about the real alternatives, how it works. Now we do a bit of training. We do a bit of training with Marino. If Marino can come up with the webcam and with the audio, Marino will speak about good practices for flammable refrigerants. A small course, a small training for our participants. We have 70 participants from all around the world. Marino, you are with us. You're in mute, muto.
Yes, good. Hello. Have a good day, have a nice day to all of you. I am Marino Bassi. From many years, I am in the refrigeration segment. I had the possibility as an Embraco employee to follow all the evolution of the hydrocarbons in the refrigeration industries. And I am a teacher and trainer in the Centro Studi Galileo, and part of the team of Real Alternative as ATF Italy. With my presentation, I wish to show the experience from the point of view of the trainee. I mean to show the elements, the instruments that a trainee can get when decide to follow the Real Alternative training. In these slides, you can see the refrigerants and what I am showing exactly as they are in the modules that Silvia, thank you Silvia, explained before. In this table, you can see the refrigerants of the training, and basing on these characteristics, thermal characteristics, physical of these refrigerants, and on the applicable regulation, the training provide guidelines for the proper and safety use of these refrigerants from the beginning, practically from the transportation, from the design of the cabinet, installation, and mainly training. We will concentrate for the time that we have on the flammable refrigerants. Next. The training assumes that the trainee already know what to do with the HFC. So the training focuses on the differences between alternative refrigerants and HFC, with particular attention to the safety aspects. For the hydrocarbon, mainly it means for vulnerability or risk of explosion. Next. Flame can happen when you have a potential, or you have an explosive atmosphere and have inside a source of ignition. Next. For this reason, the main rules to be applied when someone has to design the system using the hydrocarbon is first, source of ignition must be removed from the flammable zone. Second, if you have electrical devices inside potential flammable zone, these devices will be non-sparking type. And the training show all the process step by step, how to reach this result when designing the system. Next. There are a lot of details for the various operations, like, for example, the electrical connection that can be inside the potential flammable refrigerant zone, the fuses type and their use, the type of cable, boxes, etc. Next. And there are notes on the ventilation, like the fan for the condenser or evaporator, that can contribute to dilute, to dissipate the dangerous concentration of refrigerant from a potential leaks. And there are warnings on possible abnormal use of the cabinet in the field, as well as about failure of some components. Next. When you have a cabinet, you have to install the cabinet in the field, of course, and the hydrocarbon being highly flammable have a size limitation for the refrigerant charge. The training shows you, according to the EN regulation, how to size the refrigerant charge according to the location of the equipment, occupancy of the area being cooled, and the type of the system. Next. When you have a proper cabinet properly installed, it has to run for a certain time for its life, and you have to prevent you have to operate preventive maintenance and eventually repairing. Repairing in the field for the hydrocarbon represents the moment of higher risk. And the training has details, make a lot of attention to this part of the activity. First of all, it's necessary to carry out the risk assessments. That means evaluate the likelihood of a negative event and the impact of this event, and take preventive action in order to minimize the risk to a level that you can run without problem. Next. There are indications on the proper tools to be used, and you can practice the tools in the practical training in the classroom. Next. And preventive action to be adopted are listed with a lot of details. The working area must be very well ventilated, eventually with the fan motors that need to be ATEX approved. It's necessary to use a personal monitor and detector. It's important not to have an ignition source in the working area for a volume, let me say, for right around of 3 meters, and have a fire extinguisher at your end if in case of use. Next. Also, there are instructions about the equipment to be used with flammable refrigerants. The equipment must be with hydrocarbon and other flammable refrigerants, ATEX approved, especially the recovery machines, and in certain cases also the vacuum pump, and there are solutions for a standard vacuum pump up to them. And for each operation, like refrigerant recovery or vacuum in the system, there are step-by-step all the instructions to follow in order to operate the proper operation and in safety condition. Next. Particular critical is the brazing and unbrazing operation, because you are using flame where there was, you have to clean all before, where there was explosive flammable refrigerants, and there are instructions how to proceed to be safe in the operation and to properly weld the connections, for example, by flowing nitrogen inside the tubes. Next. The same care in the details of the operation is also listed for the charging of the system, for the safety, and for the charging in the system itself regarding the weight of the charge, because normally refrigerants, normally the system with the hydrocarbon have very small refrigerant charge. And particularly there are attention for the filling of the recovery vessel. Next. Next. Well, when you have performed all these operations and you have arranged the cabinet finally, it can run in the field. However, what I wish to say is that field experience have evidenced some accident for repairing operations when you work with flammable refrigerants. And also there are accidents with other refrigerants like the CO2 or ammonia. So I wish to stress on the fact that practical training have a high prevention relevance. And not only the trainee has to follow the theoretical part that are on the learning model, on the bibliography, etc., of this web training, but it's important to have the practical training also. In this way, next, after an assessment on the knowledge of the trainee, it's possible to issue the certification of the trainee. The certification is important because it's a certification of the knowledge, theoretical scheme, and also knowledge about regulation of the trainee, and is a good argument for the technician, because all practically the cabinet producers, the end users, the service company, of course, they require qualified people for the use of hydrocarbon refrigerant as well as other alternative refrigerants. Okay, I have to pass very quickly the presentation to leave space to the other colleagues that will present their parts.
Thank you, Marino.
For your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Marino. In 8-10 minutes, you gave a very good explanation about hydrocarbons. Our training, of course, is much longer, but you were very clear, and thank you very much for that. Now we pass to experience of our partners. We start with Miriam Rodway. Hello, Miriam, from United Kingdom, the manager of Real Alternatives for many years, and thank you so much for your great work, Miriam and your team, for starting and managing so well this training and this project. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you, Marco, for that introduction, and greetings to everybody online. And here we see, first up, my name is Miriam Rodway from the Institute of Refrigeration in the UK. We're very proud to be part of this team of international organizations that are supporting training, both in terms of the work in the UK and Europe, but also globally and internationally. I wanted to spend my time very briefly giving you a bit of history of the UK Institute of Refrigeration's involvement in the project. The whole thing really started way back in 2008 when we were facing the first F-gas regulation. And the Institute of Refrigeration in the UK had a reputation for technical work and for good communications. And we began a research project that looked at the technical approach to reducing leakage of HFCs. The campaign was very successful. It led to many changes in practices of some of the most large organizations in the UK. And we were then approached by our partners and friends in Europe, who invited us to turn our material into an online training program, still focusing on HFC leakage. And this we did with the support of the EU Leonardo learning program. We created a free e-learning program, various modules, all online. This then evolved, as we've heard previously, by 2015, into looking at the need to address training and skills in alternative refrigerants, in those refrigerants emerging to replace the HFCs. And again, the UK had a lot of expertise in training in carbon dioxide and hydrocarbon, and we had very good codes of practice, which we were very happy to share and develop e-learning through our friends in Real Alternatives. So the real name that you hear stands for Refrigerant Emissions and Leakage Reduction. And our key elements here are we want to reduce emissions, not just of the old HFCs, but also, and many of those are still currently in use, but also as new systems go in to make sure that people are addressing the safety issues that Marino has already discussed, but also efficiency. And in order to address that, you need to address leakage even in these low GWP refrigerants. So the difference with our programs then, one of them supported by lifelong learning and the new one supported by life, was that we included trainer materials. So previously it had simply been an online individual self-study, and then we began working again with our 7 partners in Europe to develop a improved trainer capacity through Train the Trainer program and work, and expanding our translations beyond those 7 core languages currently available in 17, and really the languages and the scope growing all the time through the work of our friends at ATF. And then moving briefly into where we see the project going in the future as far as the UK is concerned. The Institute of Refrigeration continues to work with our partners in the consortium and all the new people who join on to support the communication side and the structure and the event side. And in the UK, we are really at the Institute of Refrigeration talking about a concept that we call beyond refrigeration. So here we're looking at how we can integrate more closely the whole issues around skills and training into the adoption of new technologies, the reducing of energy demand, balancing of heating and cooling, so that we are sharing those 2 services across organizations, and using energy much more intelligently in a cooperative way. So we see this as a way for the Institute of Refrigeration in the UK to work with our governments, to influence policy, and to influence international and global policy based on our expertise of working collaboratively with our partners. So that is my 3 minutes. Thank you very much, Marco.
Thank you so much, Miriam, and thank you for your experience in UK. Now we go to Germany, to Karsten. We have 80 people attending now at the moment, so we will have some time at the end for questions. Please use the box on the right to put your questions. Karsten, the floor is yours. I can see some very nice pictures.
Yeah, very nice pictures. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Karsten Beermann and I'm representing the German partner of our consortium, ICE, and we are the national lead and training provider, and we are here in Germany fully integrated in our dual vocational education system. And in Germany, we have the situation actually that all training centers who support our process in the education system, especially supporting the practical side, we are prepared to deliver a special 1-week course practice in handling flammables and CO2. And this is a way to start with our young students who normally work 3.5 years in this period, employed at a company, and actually besides this they get support from the vocational school and from technical colleges like ICE. So the practical courses in the 3.5 years, we have in total 8 weeks practical support, practical handling of the tools, handling of the components, etc. And we implemented since 2 years the special week for flammables and CO2. So we are on the way supporting our young students, and we use material of our consortium from Real Alternative for Life. So it's good to have on one hand e-learning parallel, especially in this hard times. It's very, very helpful, but actually it's very important to have here at the training center really the practical handwork and the face-to-face and exchange of experience available. And actually we are fully on the way. We have no restriction in a special way, only to look to the distance and wearing the mask, etc. But we are allowed to work. This is very important and necessary. And of course, we have extra courses to support maybe also designers how to use the flammables in the future, active support for CO2 It's well implemented already in the supermarket area. And in our project in general, we speak not too much about ammonia, because ammonia is really focusing on the industry. And but if the demand is there, we of course support, but we let it mostly to the industry. So we focus clearly on propane and CO2. And the government is also very helpful, so they will support this, and especially they support the young students to finance these courses, or they support the companies who have to pay. And yeah, it's in the future, of course, also helpful that we have clearly mandatory certification for especially handling of flammables and CO2. So these are hopefully on the way the next future, next years. Spain is a good example. This is very good. So hopefully we can follow, and we will see what happens. So this is the situation here in Germany. Thank you.
Thank you, Carsten. Now we go to the country next to you, Poland. Hello, Christoph. Can you hear us? Can you see us, Christoph? If you can go on line, Christoph. Yes, can you unmute yourself, Christoph? We have now 80 attendees from all around the world. Please put your question in the box if you need it. Hello, Christoph.
Hello, everybody. I cannot say good morning, or I can say good morning only to those people in Central European time zone. So it's a very stressful presentation for not only for me, but for all of us, because there is plenty of attendees and we cannot see you. So it's a nice conference, but I can see only my slides. So anyhow, best regards from Poland, where we joined a real alternative program actually 6 years ago. And because of this program, we were able to develop our trainings. Prozon is NGO, non-governmental organization, focused on different action to restrain climate changes, focusing on the refrigeration and air conditioning area. And for us, entering the trainings was part of the of our mission, and also one of the ways to communicate to the market and understand the industry. So we started with F-gas certification 6 years ago with help of Czech organization that will be presenting in a few moments. And over this time, we trained close to 3,000 people, and it was excellent experience, not only for them, but I believe for them, but also definitely for us. Because of the participation in real alternatives, we were able to introduce CO2-based refrigeration, where we focus mainly on automation, and you can see on picture number 3, one of the units. You can see also what Marino said, a flammable refrigerants trainings that is focused a lot on specific tools dedicated to flammable refrigerants. And we are very much focused on, of course, safety working with those refrigerants. Because HFOs and all refrigerants are safe when they are close in the systems, good connections of pipes and systems is critical. That's why we entered the brazing certification and trainings. So we see this as an important part of our mission to have our system sealed. And finally, last but not the least, is recovery trainings and certification of filling cylinders. This is a part of our recovery and reclamation network, which is actually one of our key actions and missions. Today, in the pandemic time, we work online and waiting for, let's say, April to do the practical trainings and practical exam. So if you expect us to share our experience, we are ready to do this. Thank you a lot and have a good day.
Thank you, Krzysztof. Thank you from Poland. And now we go to Czech Republic. Stepan, member of AREA. Hello, Stepan. Can you hear us? Can you see us? Stepan?
Yes, hello. Hello to everybody.
I can see your Czech flag.
So again, hello to everyone all around the world. I'm glad that I can present this wonderful project, Real Alternatives for Life. Our association, Association of Refrigeration and Air Conditioning in the Czech Republic, joined the project 3 years ago, so in the second wave of the stakeholders. At that time, the project was prepared for theoretical side of the trainings, and we, together with our colleagues from the all other 15 or 17 countries, we were developing the project to have also the practical part. And for us, it was really a great experience. Before that, we already were doing trainings focused on refrigeration with HFCs. We were doing F-gas certifications and trainings for preparation for the certification. And Real Alternatives for Life was like a second step. And the good thing was that we could join our knowledge with other countries, with other experienced learners from different countries, and that the training is based on the common experience, and the materials are the same for the 17 states, which is really great. So since November 2019, we are doing the practical trainings on flammable refrigerants. On the picture, you can see a photograph from one of them. In smaller groups, we are doing the theoretical part that Mr. Bassi was presenting before, and also the practical part in our training center. The trainees are doing the procedures to change one of the component on propane refrigeration cycle. So until November 2019, we've trained 77 persons, plus 54 joined our webinars. Of course, because of the pandemic, we couldn't do all the trainings that we are planning to. We wanted to do at least 150, but the situation is what it is, and I hope we will be able to do more in the future. We have 2 training centers equipped for flammable refrigerants and CO2 in the 2 biggest cities in the Czech Republic, Prague and Brno. And for the trainings, as a source of information, the e-learning page is very valuable because when the people are signing in for the trainings, we send them registration to get the information, some information before the training. We use it during the training, and of course the e-learning is free to join, so they can use the information also after the training whenever they want. And since 2019, the Czech version of the e-learning has had 1,090 visits. So this is really great because we are a small country, and this number is making me very happy. So for the future, I think there's certainly interest in training. I hope in the next year we will be able to train up to 200, 300 persons. Since the flammable refrigerants and CO2 will be more and more used in the refrigeration industry, I think we will have more and more people certified. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. It was nice to hear about the Czech Republic, and we have many countries joining Real Alternatives. Also, we have New Zealand, we have Armenia, but they are not here. But now we have Spain here with us. Blanca, can you put your cam on, Blanca?
Yes,
hello, Blanca.
Hello.
Nice
Hello,
to see you again. We were with South America last week doing a seminar for South America. So I say hello to all our members from South America that are looking to us, all the South American countries that are joining us. Blanca, the floor is yours. 80 people attend this at the moment.
Thank you, Marco. Hello to everybody from Spain. It's a pleasure to be here to share with you this slide and the situation in Spain. I will start with this map. If you see this map, Spain is situated south of Europe. Our weather is mostly Mediterranean weather, so refrigeration plays a very important role in our economy. We have many professionals dedicated to refrigeration. So in 2014, the European regulation on F-gas was approved. Spain, 3 years after, approved the Spanish Royal Decree on F-gas, transposing this regulation. There was an article very interesting in this Royal Decree saying that a minimum of 6-hour training was obligatory for all professionals on alternative refrigerants. For our Confederation of Installers in Spain, this was very good, but not enough, because a minimum of 6 hours will be really 6 hours for most professionals. So we started looking for the best training for our professionals. We think we need professionals better trained than just 6 hours a minimum, because next year's alternative refrigerants, their flammability will play a very important role, and we need very good trained professionals. We had first contact with the Real Alternative platform in 2015, 1 year after the European regulation was approved. In 2016, after checking the content of this platform, we realized it was very good, and our concern about this training for professionals was very good covered with this platform. So we became a national lead in 2016, and we started very quick to work on training centers, to homologate them, to be able to evaluate and to certificate professionals. So in 2018, 3 training centers were homologated. Now in 2020, we have up to 5 training centers who are using the content of the platform in their courses. They are making theoretical and practical training. And now with these 5 training centers, we have 311 certifications. So professionals certificated in the platform. For us, these figures are very good, because this means that these professionals have got not only a minimum of 6 hours training, but a longer training, which is very important for the alternative refrigerants. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Blanca. I think Spain is a very good case of how you made it mandatory. Not just the F-gas certification is mandatory, but also the alternative training certification. The Real Alternative certification is mandatory. So it's very good. You did a very good job. Now we have a few minutes for questions. Maybe everybody can put this cam on, I think, now. It would be nice to see all of our speakers again on for the final questions. We have one question. If you want more question, please put in the box. There is a chat box in the right corner. We are, on time. It's 11 o'clock Central European time. We have one question. I don't know who wants to answer it. The question is, how long is the real alternative training, flammable refrigerant or CO2 training? How long? How many days? Who wants to answer this question?
At present, we have at present we have 3 days for theory and practical training for CO2, and within 2 days we can do flammables, including the exam.
And the certification is included?
Yes.
In the 3 days. Perfect. I don't know if the audience has got more questions. I have another questions. Do you need certain equipment to be qualified as a training center? Please, I see somebody saying yes. Who want to speak? Blanca, you want to speak?
Okay.
Do you need, or maybe yes. Karsten? Both, Blanca and Karsten.
Okay. Yes, you need a special equipment. There is a list of the equipment you need as a training center, not only just the basic equipment, but special devices to give this training for both CO2 and flammable refrigerants. And each training center receive all this material for them to check whether they really fulfill all these obligations to be able to be homologated.
Thank you, Blanca. Karsten, you have a huge training center with so many equipment. So give us your experience, Karsten. How many equipment do you need? Unmute, please.
Okay, now you can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you need lots of years to equip such a space like IGE have. Yeah, but of course we have described some equipment what should be necessary. Yeah, you need of course equipment to really organize practical training. And then it's also a question what background technicians already have. To start, for example, Marino mentioned, yes, the knowledge should be there, and then only the difference between the HFC and, for example, flammables is to be discussed, and then the difference of handling in the practice. So it's a question of 2 or 3 days, for example, but of course you can extend the time for longer. But it's helpful that the technicians are really aware what is the difference, and that in the future they really stay safe. And of course, energy efficiency is also a big task in the future. So this awareness should also be raised.
Very good. Joseph from Tunisia is asking, how many training centers are eligible for certification at the moment in our project? I don't remember the number on top of my head, but I think it's around 30 or 40 training centers we have, right? Yes, correct. Around 30, 40 training centers around Europe and abroad. So I'm saying Armenia, Turkey, New Zealand, eligible for doing certification, Joseph. Another question from Renée Valérie. I don't know the country, but she's asking, how do you encourage technicians to participate in the training programs? Who want to answer this one? How do you encourage them? Okay, if it's mandatory, okay, it's mandatory. But if it's not mandatory, how do you encourage them to participate in the training programs?
Thank you. I can take this if you like, Marco.
Thanks, Marine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marine.
One of the ways that we set up the consortium of the program was to make sure that we work with national associations. So in each country, there is the trade association or a professional institute that we work with. So really, we are working already with the employers in those organizations, and also through our partner ARIA, who includes all of the associations in Europe. So the work to encourage the trainers is really because our program is supported by their trade association nationally, and that national association already has a good reputation and good communications because it is managed by the employers and links direct to those trainers. So that work is done on very much on a national level.
Thank you, Miriam. Very good. Yes, it's true. And now we have also an African, Pan-African association linked to us, which is U3ARC. And there is another question from Blake asking if we have a North American association analog to ARIA. There is no North American association analog to ARIA at the moment. We would like very much to join them and to be linked with them, with a North American analog to ARIA. Then we have a question from Azucena Manuel, my good friend from Philippines. Can someone already handling thermal refrigerant trained by companies? Sorry, I say it again. Someone already handling thermal refrigerant and previously trained can go directly on a certification scheme? I answer to this one. Yes, you can go directly to a certification program even if you already handle thermal refrigerants with a previous trained program. So you can go there. We, as a prerequisite, so to ask you to come, to allow you to come to a training, we ask for you to having performed a training of refrigerants. We don't train again the basis of refrigeration. We just focus on the refrigerants flammability, on the toxicity, on the high pressures and flammable refrigerants, CO2, ammonia. We don't go back to the basis, of course, in this training. I hope I answer your question. Please, Mariam.
Can I add also that we do not issue a certificate of equivalence for training carried out by somebody else to a different standard. Okay. So okay. If already they have a national training certificate, they must still come to one of our trainers and take our exams, because we have two exams. We have a theory exam, a multiple choice, but also yes. a practical exam with a well-defined test. So even if they already have this good knowledge, we would invite them to look at our e-learning so that they understand what is required of our program, and they must take our assessment in order to gain our certificate.
I think it's a good point, this one. You're right. I think this is a good complement to my to the question and to my answer. I have a last question, and then we can say hello to everyone. Mark from Canada, a potential partner for Real Alternatives, is saying the challenge in Canada is the availability of equipment manufactured with alternative refrigerants. I would like to take this question because in our project, we manage to have a very good consortium and also a very good connection with manufacturers that normally are happy to help providing the equipment because at the end of the day is for everyone benefit to have the right equipment, the right training, the right competence for the manufacturers, for the training, for the users, for everyone. It's good to have the right equipment, the right training, and the right competence. So it's all the sector is going to benefit to Real Alternatives. So Mark, if you join the project, you will get a good consortium, a good connection with many manufacturers in Europe, but worldwide as well, that can help to provide the equipment that you need. Anyone want to add anything to what we said? Do you want to say hello to everyone? Maybe Miriam, you want to say hello to everyone?
Stefan would like to say something.
Stefan asked.
Stefan. Sorry, Stefan. I know.
Yes, thanks. I just wanted to answer the last question, or to confirm what you are saying. If you are going to start the trainings from the scratch, from the beginning, the group of stakeholders will surely help you. You'll get all the guides. You'll get the guides how to build the testing rigs, what equipment you need, and where to go or who to contact to get it and to receive it. For example, we had a difficulty to get a good evaporator for our testing rig, and through the group we got in contact with one of the companies, the producers, and we got it in a few weeks. So surely the community will help you.
Thank you so much, Stefan, for your experience. Okay, so if everybody is happy, no more question, I say thank you to all the participants. Still 64 participants. Now we are 10 minutes late. Thank you to the speakers, to our partners. Thank you to all. Always a good group. We are a good family, and MOP is a good family of people that can help each other. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Hello.
Thank you
hello,
to everybody. Hello. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.